This video was made possible by EA Game Changers. Hello there everybody, it is me, XfreezerBunny, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we're taking an early look at the brand new Tiny Living Stuff Pack. Before anything else, since this is my first video of 2020, I just want to wish you all a happy new year, and yeah, hopefully you had a wonderful January so far. It's been going really well for me. I decided to take a little bit of a break to catch up on a lot of the work that I left off when I took that winter holiday vacation, but I'm back and I'm so excited to bring you guys this early look at the brand new stuff pack. And I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions later on the pack as always, but today we're building this tiny house, of course. I decided to call this the Rustic Living Tiny House. I haven't committed on that name yet, but I might change it if I think of something better. But I wanted to make this kind of like country tiny house, or at least my interpretation of a more contemporary country living tiny house type vacation home, I would say, or holiday home for a couple who's primarily based in the city, but they have property in the country and they can't afford to build a full-on country house. So just to make some use out of it, they decided to build, a tiny house on it, and this is where they spend their weekends and their downtimes. So overall, I just went for a more modern, contemporary look, with kind of like a country twist, and I think a lot of that goes with the landscaping that I ended up doing. For those of you who follow me on social media, you know how much I struggled with this build, simply because I've already done quite a lot of tiny homes last year, and to be honest, I think one of my personal favorite ones was the eco minimalism one, and I tried so hard not to just recreate that exact same build for the speed build, because I feel like even if I made a conscious effort not to do that, that was kind of where my mind was going through as I was doing this pack. And that's primarily because of the style, the art style that they chose for this pack, which is the hygge. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. There's been a lot of comments about the Sim Guru's pronunciations about that style, but hygge style is a European / Scandinavian style that's very comfort oriented. It's very modern, contemporary, lots of wood, and I think that's very much reflected in this build. And it's also a very similar style to my eco minimalism build. I think that's why I gravitated towards that build so much, subconsciously, because a lot of the features you'd find in hygge can also be found in my eco minimalism builds. But yeah, I think this one deviated from that enough to warrant its own speed build and its own kind of aesthetic. But I think they kind of still have so many similarities that I wouldn't be surprised if they came from like the same studio in real life, or like the same showroom. So one of my favorite things in The Sims 4 are these room dividers from Moschino. They're so amazing. I use these room dividers all the time in my builds, and I use them here as kind of like sliding door divider type things. So I imagine this house to be a little bit more modular, so if the owners decide they want more privacy, they can close it and completely change the shape of the house from the outside. Other than that, I used a lot of glass doors and windows to give this house a more open nature vibe, and also a lot of wood as well to be consistent with the style for this pack. Anyway, for this house, I definitely went for more of like a prefabricated slash flat pack style, house, where, you would see these mass-produced tiny homes, and you can kind of tell by the parts that they can easily be assembled. I looked at Muji homes and IKEA homes and even like Tesla homes, just to see how other people approach this type of building, and yeah, I didn't really base this off of anything in particular in real life, but I think you guys can see some references from the inspirations that I just mentioned. For the interior, I love how I used so many of these wood tones that surprisingly come together really well. I don't really use a lot of like conflicting wood colors, but I think they all came together really nicely in this build. So here we have this Murphy bed, which is probably the superstar item, if I can say that, in this pack. They had a specific term they were used to refer to it, but yeah, that is kind of like the premium content, as the Sims 3 people would refer to it in this stuff pack. And there's actually 3 Murphy beds in this pack that come in different sizes and slight different functionalities. What I like about Murphy beds is that, first of all, they have really cool animations to them, and I think that really helps with the immersion. And second is that they do actually clear up some space. So the Murphy bed itself, just like any other double bed in the game, takes up a 2x3 tile space. So that's 6 tiles in total. And if you fold it up the way we have it right now here, where we have the love seat instead of the bed, you can free up an extra 2 square tiles. So you can use that to your advantage by putting some skill items over there that you can drag from your Sims inventory. For example, when I first got my hands on the pack, I was really interested to see if that was gonna work. So I tried testing it out using the spa day yoga mats, and yes, my Sims was able to do yoga with move objects. I did also try the easel as well. That didn't quite work, but I feel like they'll fix that eventually. I also tried the guitar and the piano, and those also worked as well. I just tried the skill items that your Sims can drag out of their inventory, and those were fully functional except for the easel, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, like I said, I think they're probably gonna do something about that, because I feel like the easel is so handy. So there's no way they wouldn't allow that to be functional with Murphy beds, right? So yeah, I'm really happy that we get Murphy beds. I was very disappointed not to have them in other packs. I feel like I was expecting them for either university or steady living, but now that we have them, I'm quite happy. Other than that, we also got some other unique functionalities to the items in this pack. Like, we have stacked objects, which basically means that they are single tile objects that have multiple functionalities. So we have a TV and a bookshelf combo, and other kind of like things that I kind of forgot. I tried to put the TV bookshelf combo, but I decided against it, not because I couldn't find space for it, but because just since this was a country house, I decided to make it a little bit more nature oriented. Also, before I forget, there's also some gameplay aspects to this pack as well. Specifically when it comes to the lot type, there's a new residential lot assignment for tiny houses, and there's 3 tiers, so it's a pretty meaty system they have here. So this one is just under 100 tiles, 100 square tiles, so it technically is considered as a tiny house, I believe. So yeah, that's the largest of all the tiny home lot types. I believe the smallest one is the micro home, and each one of those tiers also comes with their own benefits and perks. This one, the reason why it ended up so big is that because they actually considered the outside platforms and patios and all of that stuff, and also the roof deck as well. It was counted towards the tile count, so that's why it sounds like a lot. But the interior space, it's a lot smaller. I would say it's probably half that. So you guys just saw me furnish the interior. It's pretty like functional. I love the style. It kind of reminds me of like mid-century with a more modern twist, I guess. Kind of like a more contemporary approach to mid-century design, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, here we have the roof deck, I guess. And yeah, this is just a lounge area. I didn't really put anything here. I did leave some space for you guys to put your own skill items in here. I also put that solar panel from Get Famous because I love using that. It makes me feel really environmentally friendly, eco-friendly, I guess. But yeah, there's also a lot of planter beds in this as well for you to work on your gardening. I definitely imagine the people living here to have a very busy, hectic city life, maybe working in corporate or something like that. And then they come here during the weekends to, work on their hobbies and just, have their downtime, because everybody needs that. Just have some privacy and just relax in a quiet place surrounded by nature. That's the look I was going for. I realized I really didn't talk about the interior that much because I was busy, plugging the pack for you guys, but hopefully you guys will try it out. I definitely enjoy this pack. I noticed that I have started to like a lot of the recent stuff packs that we've been getting, so that's reassuring because I feel like it's getting better and better the more packs we get. So yes, yeah, am I overselling it at this point? I think I am. That being said, I am so happy with this though. Like, I would say the two recent stuff pack that we got, Moschino and Tiny Living, are probably two of my favorite ones, along with Laundry Day, because they have gameplay. I really enjoy challenging myself to do tiny houses. Yeah, I feel like if I didn't do so many tiny houses last year, I probably would have done the exact same thing using these items. But I'm really happy with this one. It's definitely a mix of some of my houses that I've done before. Like I said, I feel like as I was building this subconsciously, I was channeling that eco-minimalism builds. This one also has a lot of that eco-caravan builds as well, especially when it comes to like the gardening aspect of it. Like this aspect right here that we're incorporating right now is something that is taken straight out of that eco-caravan build. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, go ahead and do it. That one was actually an off-the-grid lot for Island Living, and that one was also one of my favorites as well. It was more of like an industrial post-apocalyptic vibe, but here I'm using a lot of the same stuff I used in that build specifically for the garden. This like summer crops garden plots I'm putting here are from that build as well. Yeah, this is the thing that I know I recently have been doing quite a lot of, is just saving stuff on my gallery and just reaching out to them if I need them. So it's definitely a lot more efficient use of the gallery's functionality. So yeah, here I'm just putting in some summer crops. I did film this in the summertime, so a lot of the crops that I used will only grow in the summertime or in the summer along with other seasons basically. But yeah, here I'm just putting in a lot more garden ornaments and garden tools and stuff, which I feel like really make it seem more realistic. And I just love seeing these gravel pathways. They just feel very, I don't know, country-esque, if that makes any sense. So here we have a barbecue area in front. There's not much of a back you know, backyard to this lot. So yeah, I had to put that in front. And of course I had to put this, one of my favorite trees in the game, which once again I also use all the time. And also whenever I do these like eco builds, I always go for that car from Get Together as well. Right, so I think that's actually going to be it for this build. Before I go, you guys probably already saw a little preview of it, but I have a new intro and outro, so please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and also let me know what you thought about this build in the comments below. If you liked it, let me know. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this commentary right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.